Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya,
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 Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Antariyaśca bahirvidutatimiram Jyotirmayam Shashvatam स्थानं प्राप्य विराजते विनमताम् अज्ञानमुन्मूलयन् पश्यन् विश्वमपीतमुल्लसति यो विश्वस्य पारे परः तस्मै श्रीरमणाय लोकगुरवे शोकस्य हन्त्रे नमः. I consider this opportunity to share few thoughts on Saddarshanam as a great blessing. I had regularly every year participated online during the COVID as well on these Ramana Jayanthi events. Many of you or some of you might have attended that. And this time, the first time I am in person able to be here. I am very thankful to organizers who made that possible. The verse that I chanted now is invocation of Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharishi's blessings. To briefly explain, the last line very clearly says, Tasmai Shri Ramanaya Loka Gurave Shokasya Hantre Namaha. What we suffer in life is sorrow, and one who can remove is the one is called Guru. Shokahanta, one who destroys shokam. And sorrows are unavoidable in our life. It was Bhagwan Buddha who said, sorrows are unavoidable, suffering is optional. Think. Can you stop people around you behaving differently than you expect? Can you stop the change of nature continuously taking place? Can you stop growing old? Can you stop bodily pains? So many different things that happen in our life, externally in situations or relationships, or internally in our own body, you cannot stop. So sorrows are really unavoidable. But the Guru teaches us how not to suffer. So Shokasya Hantre Namaha, meaning one who removes sorrows leading to suffering. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi himself had physical issues towards the end of his life. As much as all others Mahatmas also who lived in the world, like you and I, they also had bodily sufferings, bodily sorrows, not suffering, but they showed how to rise above that. And that's why the first line it says, Antariyascha bahirviduta timiram Jyotirmayam shashvatam Sthanam prapya virajate vinamatam Ajnanamunmulayan. The external darkness and internal ignorance. Antar bahischa. Antaryascha bahir vidudatimiram. Removing that darkness. Removing the misunderstanding. Jyotirmayam sthanam prapya. Having reached that abode of brilliance, abode of inner light, virajate, shines forth. All Mahatmas, all great masters, having conquered their own ignorance, they reveled in the joy of inner light. And that's why you don't see even a streak of unhappiness on their face. All Mahatmas in our tradition, in the Hindu tradition, are given the name Ananda at the end. Chinmaya Ananda, Tejomaya Ananda. And my name is also Ishwarananda. Why? We are supposed to be happy. How? Not because of anything externally happening which is favorable to us, but finding the inner light. That is what is supposed to give the infinite joy. See, whether I like it or not, I should be happy. Otherwise my name will be Ishwaradukhi. Anand. So, Antaryascha bahir vidudatimiram jyotirmayam shashvatam sthanam prapya. Having reached that inner light, virajate, shines. At the same time, vinamadam ajnanam unmulayan. At the same time, those who come to him, come to such master, especially Sri Ramana Maharishi, ajnanam unmulayan, removing the very root of ignorance. There is one anecdote, many people may be knowing this. One young boy, knowing about the glory and greatness of Sri Ramana Maharishi, he started to travel from his village. To go to the nearest bus stop, he has to walk. So he walked a mile, many years back. He walked a mile or so and reached the bus stop there, took a bus from there to Tiruvannamalai, which probably took an hour or so. After having reached the Tiruvannamalai bus stop, again he started to walk towards the ashrama and reached the abode, and he went straight into the hall in which Sri Ramana Maharishi was available to answer the questions of the people who came there with inquisitive minds. He stopped there and looked at everybody. Everybody was sitting quietly. Nobody was asking any questions, because they were reveling in the silence and stillness of Bhagwan. So he also sat there. His mind was still running, because he came all the way to understand, to know, and nobody's talking. So after some time, when slowly some of them started to leave, he went there closer to Bhagwan and he asked this question: how do I find my own true nature? What is the way to find my true nature? Sri Ramana Maharishi, as usual, looking at him silently, and he said, "Go back the way you came." What did he say? Go back the way you came. He just couldn't understand. I came all the way from my village, walked 1 mile, took a bus for 1 hour, walked another mile, came to the ashram, and you asked me to go back? So he was perplexed, and Ramana Maharishi closed his eyes. So next to him there was one person who smiled. No. Did you understand what he said? Yes. Please explain to me. They went outside the hall. What did you understand? You tell me. So the boy said, he asked me to go back home. No. No, that's not what he said. That's what he said. You also heard? Go back the way you came. No. Go back the way you came means you, the ego, go to this origin. Go back to the very source of this individuality. And the very place where the individuality has sprung, the ego has manifested. It is in the same place where you will find your true nature too. In Vedanta, what we say, where the rope is, there the snake is. Where the snake is, there itself is the rope. It cannot be otherwise. And that is the reason why in Saddarshanam he begins with that statement. We'll come to that a little later. So, Vinamadam Ajnanam Unmulayan, removing the ignorance of those people who surrender to him. Pashyan Vishwam Api Idam. Even though he sees the world like you and I see it, but not the same way. Pashyan Vishwam Api Idam Ullasatiyaha. He revels, he enjoys. So then Vishwasya Pare Paraha, one who is beyond this world, rising above from the world. Tasmai Shri Ramanaya Loka Gurave Shokasya Hantre Namaha. That is the invocation. Now coming to this question of finding the root of this ego, he begins Saddarshanam with this statement, very, very, very deep. Satpratyaya kimnu vihaya santam hriddeshu chinta rahito hridakya katam smaramastamameyamekam tasya smritihi tasya dridaiva nishta. Sri Ramana Maharishi's teachings are extremely practical. He doesn't quote Upanishad or Bhagavad Gita to substantiate what he says. Not that he is not interested in the traditional teachings, but he believed in simplifying the whole thing. Around him were many scholars, very well read, highly educated, highly scholarly. They all came to him to find out what they have understood is correct or not. As much as in the case of Sri Dakshinamurti also, where surrounding him were who? Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanat, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanat Kumaras, the four of them. Brahma's mind-born children. These four of them were highly qualified, but they were looking for an acknowledgement whether what we have learned is correct or not. In the same way, Sri Ramana Maharshi was surrounded by great scholars, not asking questions whether he knows Upanishad and Gita, Brahma Sutra. No, whether what I have understood is right or wrong. Why? Here is a man of experience, the one who has seen the truth, one who revels there, one who is staying there, one who is abiding there. Who else can tell us? So he simplified the truth in such a way that even a common man who may not have any scholarly knowledge of Vedanta or Upanishads, etc., can also practice, can also reach there. So his first question to all of us is, do you exist? Anybody who is not existing here, please raise your hand. Do you all exist? Yes?
Yes.
Only few of them are acknowledging this. So others are doubtful? In one voice, do you exist?
Yes.
Okay. Do you exist because you are thinking that you are existing? You are thinking that you are existing?
No.
Are you?
No.
Is it that a thought is necessary to prove that you exist?
No.
No.
Be careful when I'm asking the question. This phone exists or not? How many of you say it doesn't exist? Does it exist?
Yes.
Now does it exist?
Yes.
Huh? Does the phone exist now?
Yes. We can't see it, but it still exists.
Exists. Okay. Now, if somebody walks from the door right now, if I ask that question, is the phone existing? What would be his answer?
No.
Say quiet, say clearly. If a person walks now from the door into this room, if I ask that question, does the phone exist?
What phone? No.
That's one question. Or like a white covered, white, whatever be the description that I would give. Does it exist?
No.
So why do you say it exists and why does he say it doesn't exist?
Because we saw that.
Because you have already seen it. Right? So existence of any object is the prior experience of it. If I have seen the phone before, then I would say it exists, and when it is absent for a short time, I say it doesn't exist. How many of you seen me before? Have you ever seen me before? So as far as those who have not seen me before, I did not exist until you saw me. But is that the case with you individually? Do you have to think of an existence of you to know that you are? Santam vihaya sat pratyaya kim. Without the constant existence, even the thought of existence will not arise. I am able to experience the world of everything, objects and beings, because I primarily exist. Without my prior existence, I cannot have the experience of anything else in this world. Think. The first verse itself, he puts a big question. Sat pratyaya. Pratyaya means vritti, thought. Sat pratyaya, thought of existence, can there be without the prior existence of something which is not a thought? As I asked, your existence, do you need to substantiate, prove to yourself with a thought? Hriddeshu chinta rahitaha hridakyah. That pure existence known as awareness is without any thought. This is the reason why we don't believe in the statement, I think, therefore I am. No. I am, therefore I think. If you don't think, you are not. That means many people who are thoughtless don't exist. I am, therefore I think. Not I think, therefore I am. This is a very, very subtle shift in thinking. Because in the state of deep sleep, we don't think. Thank God. That is the only time when we don't think. Right? That is the only time when we are really happy. Not only we are happy, others are also happy that you are happy. One person came to me and asked this question, Swamiji, why do we say RIP when people die? RIP means what? So I said, yeah, it has a reason. Rest in peace. No, why do we need to say that? Rest in peace. No, what it really means, when he is gone, is gone, dead, is dead. The rest of the people are in peace. No. So, what is the real joy that we derive or get to experience in the absence of no thoughts? In the state of sleep, there are no thoughts. Yet, we don't doubt our existence. Upon waking up, we recall that we slept. That only shows there was existence without thinking. And that state of existence without thinking, was it peaceful or unhappiness? Tell me. Not only, as I said, definitely it is peaceful for you and for others. But in that state of thoughtless existence, in the deep sleep, where the world is no more for us, no more real for us, at that state, we did not suffer. None. We never suffered. The suffering is because of what? Tell me. It's a simple logical question. If X is there, we suffer. X is not there, we don't suffer. Then what is it? What is the cause of suffering? Unnecessary thinking. The thoughts in our mind will never subside consciously. And during the state of our waking state, we are continuously in the realm of thinking and thinking and thinking. And we get caught up in that whirlpool. Chinta rahita sthiti. Hriddheshu chinta rahito hrit akyaha. So, do you need to remember your existence? Katam smaramaha. How do I remember? Do I have to remember my existence? Tam ameyamekam, that immeasurable one. Tasya smritihi, remembrance of your own pure existence, drida eva nishtha. Remaining in that state of pure awareness is the experience of it. Thought is a disturbance in awareness. So when the mind starts to recognize its origin or go to inquire its own origin, it really finds it's only a fathom entity. That's why in Upadeshasaram, what did he say? Manasam tu kim margane krite naiva manasam marga archavat. If you inquire what is the mind, it doesn't exist. We never inquire this, we never question this, we never doubt it. When thought arises in our mind, we never doubt it. It has taken its own reality. Coffee. The moment the thought of coffee comes, you don't even question it. Oh, just now I had, okay, it's gone. After 10 minutes, coffee. So when the thought arises, we never question its reality. Because of our practice or common sense, we take certain thoughts real, we take the thought and work on that and accomplish what we want, or we, even as the thought arises, it is not necessary now. That's it. We never ask, is this thought real? We never doubt it. A thought has come, it is real. It's a question of whether act on it or not. If not now, later on. But the shift in our attention should be, the thought is only a momentary disturbance in awareness, while the awareness remains permanent, everlasting, always in its nature as pure existence. Any disturbance is a deviation from that pure existence towards the world. Now I am talking to you, you listen to my words. If I don't talk, what you listen?
My thoughts. Whatever our mind says.
Huh?
Whatever our mind says.
No, at least silence, please. When you don't talk, you listen to silence or not? Do you? No, that's the problem. When you are listening to those words. When there is no sound, what do you pay attention to? That's where the problem is. Into that maunam, maunena majjan manasa swamula. So Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi says, observe that silence. Don't run with your mind. When sound is there, you listen to the sound. When sound is not there, observe silence. When the thought is there, you pay attention to thought. When the thought is not there, remain in awareness. Don't wonder what is the next thought. Because we are habituated to remain thinking from one thought to another. Thought A is over, thought B has come, thought C has come, thought C, D has come, it has come. Continuously we are running with this mind. When a thought A arose and then it's gone, don't look and be anxious about the next thought. As much as when you listen to a sound, it raises itself in the silence, goes back to the silence, stay there. That's why the chanting of Om etc. are prescribed in our Upanishads. Swarena sandayet yogam aswaram bhavayet param. Amrita Upanishad says, Swarena sandayet yogam. Pay attention to the sound of Om. Aswaram bhavayet param. Then pay attention to the silence. What is that silence? The silence is the pure expression of awareness. without the disturbance of thoughts, without moving away from its center. Hriddeshu chinta rahito hrid akyaha. That is known as hrid. Hrid in Sanskrit means truth. Ayam means this. So therefore it's called hrid ayam, hridayam. This truth. So his teachings are very deep, at the same time very simple. What you need to do now? As a practice, what you need to do? As the thoughts arise in your mind, do not run with it. Stay, watch. And if you practice watching your thoughts, it will not sustain itself for too long. Yato yato nischarati manaschanchalam astiram tatastato niyamyetat atmanneva vasham nayet. Bhagwan Krishna says in chapter 6. Whenever the mind rising up its thoughts to take you away from your center, there and then stop it. Don't wait for too long, because mind habituated to take you out. Yato yato nischarati. Whenever the mind starts that process. Manaha chanchalam astiram. The unsteady mind. Tataha niyamya. Then and there stop it. Atmanneva vasham nayet. Bring it to the awareness. So for example, when I chant Om, you also chant Om with me, but as soon as that sound of chanting Om is over, pay attention to the silence. It's a practice, and you will master it very quickly. Let us try. In a very conducive atmosphere, it is easy. In an atmosphere like this, where you are here only for that purpose and your mind is not worried about anything else right now. I'm worried about it now. Stop. Yes, okay. So I think they're working all right. Hello, check. Can you please check this? Maybe the battery is down.
Let's go new batteries.
Thanks. So in an atmosphere like this, where you don't need to worry about lunch, preparing lunch, I mean. Those who are worried about it, they are there already. So in a place where you don't need to worry about what's next, it is easy to quiet the mind. But in a workaday world where you have so many things to take care, those priorities will come to your mind. Many times people will say, Swamiji, when I am sitting for meditation, I am always thinking about what is going to happen after meditation. What do I do? That is the reason why Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi suggested that this inquiring into the source of thought should not be an one-time affair when you are sitting quietly. It should be continuously going on. Because as I said, all thoughts that arise in your mind need not have to be acted on. Not all thoughts that arise in your mind are important. There can be thoughts that are coming from your past, yesterday or day before or even many years before. It keeps turning the thoughts. It keeps producing thoughts. That is the nature of the mind. As Bhagavan Krishna answers to Arjuna to the question what he raised, Chanchalam, mind is so fickle. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramadi balavadranam tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. I consider mind is so unsteady and it is moving like a wind which cannot be controlled and very powerful. And Bhagavan Krishna did not deny that. He says, Asamshayam mahabahom mano durnigraham chalam. No doubt, Arjun, mind is fickle and unsteady. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. By practice alone, it can be overcome. Practice along with vairagya. So, when a thought arises in your mind, you have three options. Let it go. But that many people don't do it because they say, this thought came to me, mind, Swamiji, if I let it go, it may not come back again. Because it is very important thought. Because my wife asked me to buy something from the shop, and which if I don't, the catastrophe will be there. So that thought has come. I have to work on it. So letting go is only when you recognize its uselessness. Some anger, some frustration, some disappointment, whatever, which is not necessary for us to now keep brooding over. It's better to let it go. So choice number one is let it go. Choice number two is postpone it. But do it later. It's not now. Or maybe you can make a note of it. Okay, this needs to be done. The third choice is, if it is absolutely important that it is to be done by you only, you cannot postpone it, you cannot give it to somebody else, act on it. So let it go, pass it on, act on. Right? But even this simple practice will make your mind quiet. Because as we start discriminating correctly, we will have a reduced number of thoughts. Because those thoughts which you have let go, you have gone, made it, let go, pass it on, after some time they will become weak. They will not have strength to come back. Because every time when they come, you shut it out. Once I was traveling in Karnataka and I met a very ancient, very old Mahatma, lived in solitude. I went there to him. And he was similar to Maharishi, who did not necessarily was a scholar. So to him I went and asked this question, how to conquer ego? He said, don't feed it. It's easier said than done. He looked outside. You see the tree? Yes. How do I kill the tree? How do you think that I should kill the tree? I said, cut it down. No, it will come back. It has been rooted for so long. Even if you cut the root, it will come back. What he said was, create a drench around it. Because it is getting water from somewhere. Create a drench. Make sure that there is no water source nearby. It will die. Our ego is so rooted and grown, so many lives it has been there. That's why Bhagwan Krishna says, Suviruda Moolam. In chapter 15 he says that. Suviruda Moolam. Asanga Shastrena Dradena Chitva. And so, not feeding the ego is the only way to make it naturally die. By thus, therefore, discriminating in your mind those unwanted thoughts which are trying to take away my attention, I should pass it on, let it go. It is not necessary for me anymore to think about it. None of the things of the past which has disturbed me or excited me has no relevance at this point of time. Because when we regret about something which has happened in the past or trying to repeat some pleasant things that has happened in the past, your mind has become more and more strong. Your ego has become more solidified, because that is what makes you continuously engage in the world again and again, looking for happiness. So this practice of keeping my mind alert about what kind of thoughts that are arising in my mind and what I should pass it on to not to repeat, what is that can be done later on which I need not have to pay, I have to pay attention right now, and what needs my attention and do right now. If we only able to do this simple practice, you will find when you quietly sit for your meditation, your number of thoughts that will come to your mind will be significantly reduced. In a rush of doing things and suddenly you sit for meditation. It is like when you're traveling in a train which is 100 miles an hour and suddenly you jump out of it. What will happen? So the mind is going in such a speed, you cannot stop it. So reduction of thought is very, very important. And this reduction of thought, not forcefully, but intelligently, systematically, quietly, by observing and understanding the mind and letting go the unwanted. And that needs to happen continuously. So sadhana of Vedanta is not a particular action. It is not one thing that you do, like japa or puja or yogasana. It's not that. It's not an action. Our Guruji Swami Tejamanji beautifully said, what is dhyanam? Dhyanam nama sarupasya sahajam banam uchyate na etat karma vishesham va sagunopasanam japaha. The real meditation is a natural abidance in your awareness and not any particular action such as doing a japa or upasana or any other thing. Though those are helpful means to quieten the mind, but abidance in the self is only through conquering the flow of thoughts. Now, this having understood, we should also know what is the source of our thought. Very often people say that, Swamiji, I don't like my neighbor, and the neighbor is causing lot of thoughts in my mind. Nobody outside you causes thoughts to your mind. There are people who believe that the thoughts are coming from somebody else. How many of you think like that? You think that somebody is making you think. I don't know what to say. Do anybody think? Please, I am very honestly asking you a question. Do you think somebody else is making you think? Somebody is creating thoughts in your head. If that is the case, you need to meet a shrink very soon. You shrink, you know that. Psychiatrist. A lunatic is one who builds castles in the air, and psychotic is one who lives there. And psychiatrist collects the rent. So first and foremost thing that we must realize that nobody is creating thoughts in my mind other than myself. Now, issue is that I am not consciously creating those thoughts. That also you know. If you are consciously creating thoughts in your mind, you will not be miserable. Is it not many of the thoughts which are regrets and unhappy thoughts that are coming to your mind? You don't consciously want to be unhappy. So you don't consciously create those thoughts. So unconsciously something is happening in me which is causing those thoughts. And that in Vedanta we say it is the impressions of the past. Impressions of the past known as vasanas. Whatever has happened in my life, in this life as well as many previous lives, if you consider that as true, those impressions are present in me, and then they continuously come out as thoughts, desires, etc., which I have no control over. It's coming. Now, what I said in the beginning is, as the thoughts come, you have a choice to pass it on, postpone it, or work on it. Now, so I'm not now asking whether you are creating the thoughts or not at that point of time. Now, as we proceed on in this self-inquiry, we should ask the next question: what is the source of thoughts? The source of thoughts are nothing but past impressions. Past impressions triggered by present situations. That also is true. So, let us say today you are going to have lunch, and they had made a sweet, a rasgulla, let us say. I am not sure, I am just giving an example. So, rasgulla is there, and you like it. Now, just before you came to this camp, retreat, your doctor warned you that you are very diabetic. Don't take any sweet, dangerous to you. So that thought is there in your mind. Now when you are in the line and you look at it, oh, rasgulla. Now you have a choice to go for it or not. Right? Because you have had pleasant experience about Rasagulla, you would like to go for it. Now, in this context, I have to explain to you two things. One, past impressions that are there in your mind seeking you to experience it again. And an external situation has come in front of you which is providing an opportunity to experience. Pay attention. So prarabdha works in two ways. One, internal urge to experience, an external situation to fulfill it. So prarabdha is not working from within only, it is external also in this context. Now externally the situation has come providing you that Rasagulla. Internally there is an experience about Rasagulla which you had, which was pleasant, and you would like to repeat it. Now what is your choice? What do you do? What do you do? You defy the advice of your doctor and go for it. Then you are succumbing to your prarabdha. This is called destiny. You are not changing your destiny, you are succumbing to it. When you decide, no, my doctor has warned, I should not have it because it is dangerous to me, I pass it on. I go look at the Rasagulla, may you be, and then move on. And not take it in my plate and move on. That is called free will. That is called Purushartha. So, the way you handle a situation externally which you do not apply your swaprayatnam or free will or known as Purushartha, then that very experience will only strengthen the vasana within you and it will repeat. Next time when you go for another place where Rasagulla is there, you will not even question it, you will go for it. Why? The earlier experience, you did not weaken it, you strengthened it. On the other hand, if I say no and move on, next time it is easy for me. I did it before. Therefore, understand the source of your thought. The source of your thought at this stage of our understanding is the latent impressions that I already have accumulated, which can be triggered by an external situation. I cannot stop that external situation. You cannot stop people bringing Rasagulla in front of you. Do you go for it? It depends upon how strong you have become in your discrimination. Very many of you, when you come out of the Bombay airport, what do you see after immigration? Bottles and bottles of spirituality. Liquid spirituality available. Whether you stop there, look at them and go for it or not depends upon what? Your choice. You cannot stop them saying, don't display anymore in front of me. The world will not oblige to you. The world is what it is. That's why Bhagwan, Ramana Maharishi says, Ajñasya Vijñasya cha Vishvamasti. For the man of knowledge as well as for the man of ignorance, the world is. Purvasya drishyam jagadeva satyam. Ajñasya drishyam jagadeva satyam. So for all of us who have not understood Vedanta correctly and consider it as a particular action that I have to do, Every day morning I have to do some 5 minutes or 10 minutes of meditation or japa, I am done Vedanta. If you think like that, Ajna only. Ajnasya drishyam jagat satyam. For the person who is ignorant in spite of knowledge, reading etc., listening etc., but not practicing, drishyam jagat satyam. Whatever seen world is true. And if Rasagulla is there, I have to eat. Why? It is meant for me to eat only. And they also ask, Bhagavan has created for us to enjoy only. No. Bhagavan has created the world to test you. He did not create the world to make you enjoy that. He tests you how mature you are. If you are mature, you will not be attracted by my Maya. If you are not, you will be caught. And you keep repeating the same thing again and again and again. So, Purvasya Drishyam Jagadeva Satyam. Parasya Drishyashrayamekam. Parasya, for the other one, for Vijnaha, what is that? Drishya Ashrayam Eva Ekam. Drishya Ashrayam means what is the supporting principle? What is the Ashraya? What is the substratum of it? Like if you are watching a movie projected on a screen and there is a thing going on, and there's a story, the hero is getting tortured. You cry looking at a white screen. What you are looking at is not the white screen. You are looking at what is projected there. Is it not? When the projection stops, will you still keep crying looking at an empty wall? Your emotions are triggered by what you see. And you have given reality to it. That is another one. Because the one who is suffering there is exactly representing my life. That's why we watch serial, eat cereal, we never see real. So, Drishyam Jagadeva Satyam. For the person, Vijnaha, what is the reality? Ashrayam. Thought is not real. The substratum of thought called awareness is real. What is projected is not real. On what it is projected is real. Snake is not real. The rope on which the snake is projected is real. Water is not real, mirage water. The sand on which the mirage appearing is real. The world is not real. On whom the world is projected, that is real. So he shifts the attention from what is seen to what is on which it is seen. From drishya to drishta. From the seen to the seer. From the what is seen into the shifting attention to the substratum. So, when the world is seen by a Mahatma, he doesn't see the variety, he sees the single presence of, homogeneous presence of that consciousness, that awareness. So, when an individual recognizes even the thought that arises in my mind, is able to arise in my mind only because of this abiding presence of awareness, the self, he shifts the attention at once to the self. It is like when you are driving a car, you are going at a particular speed, and when it is suddenly started to the elevation starts. Let's say you're driving and the elevation starts. You immediately shift the gear to from 4 to 3 to 1, because you cannot go in the 4th gear when you are going up. You shift it. In the same way, in our life, when we meet situations, thoughts arise in our mind. Some of them are trying to take us away into this world and get ourselves lost. At that point of time, shift your attention to the self, to that abiding awareness, into that substratum on which the thoughts are dancing. Because we cannot eliminate vasanas by ourselves. Not possible. How many of them you eliminate one by one? You know how many are there? Millions. Thousands and thousands. That is called samsara sagar. One thought, one vasana is what you call conquered, another one will come. That is conquered, another one will come. There is no way you can overcome this. When you shift your attention from the dances of thoughts arising out of vasanas to the substratum. Bhagwan Shankaracharya says in Vivek Chudamani, that's why Jnate vastunyapi balavati vasana anadiresha karta bhoktapyahamati drida yasya samsara hetu pratyak drishtya nivasati sada sapaneya prayatnat muktim prahutadihamunayo vasana tanavam yat. Even as you know the truth, jnate vastunyapi balavati, strong, vasana anadi. So many vasanas are there, so many impressions are there. It is not that you were human last birth also. It doesn't look like. You may be a crocodile, Florida only. Or a dog or a cat or some buffalo or whatever it is. Those thoughts are also there in your mind. The buffalo thought is there. Buffalo instincts are there in your crocodile instincts are there. So all this animalistic tendency are also there in presently in our mind, but not expressing because we have happened to take a human birth. But if you look at your teenagers, they express all the wild animals, especially when they are playing games. They are supposed to be janwars. They happen to be your son and daughter. Some people ask, Swamiji, is it not the human population has increased so much? Yes, true. How is that? Because the animals are not allowed to live, because they have removed all the forests. So what do? Even though they are supposed to be animals, they cannot take birth as animals. They came as your children. So those animal instincts are also there in our mind. And external opportunities like that, you express that. The anger and the violence are coming from people. It is already there, triggered by an external situation. We cannot blame them. That is there, even in us. How much ever you protect your children, whatever they are while they are with you in the school, when the moment go into the university, etc., they become different. Why? Because they got a different environment to express who they are. You may be surprised. So these vasanas anadiresha, and how does it express it as? Karta bhokta api aham iti. Ya asya samsara hetu. This is what is called the cause of samsara, cause of all the suffering. How do I overcome that? Pratyak drishtya. You cannot conquer them one by one. Shift your attention. Attention from giving reality to the thoughts as they arise indiscriminately into your mind based upon past experiences, past impressions, pratyak drishtya nivasadi sada. That is the prayatna. That is the effort. That is the sadhana. Quietly, in your own mind, shifting attention. It is not an external action, as I said. How much ever you do, whatever you do, japa, tapa, puja, das, going to pilgrimage, this and that, all that you do, if that shift of attention from your mind to the self does not happen, nothing will happen. You'll continue to live like that only. Once in a while you may probably find some shanti going to some places, listening to some lectures or some few things. But again, this constant shift from thought to awareness, that mind to the self, this practice has to happen silently within you. Pratyak drishtya nivasadi sada sa apaneya vasana apaneya prayatnat. That is the effort. That is called mukti. Mukti or moksha is not going to happen sometime. The moment you shift your attention from the mind to the self, from the thought to the substratum, there and then you find yourself in freedom. One place where I was giving a talk, and one person came to me outside and said, Swamiji, I have decided, but moksha, mukti de do mujhe. Give me moksha. I said, what is moksha? Tell me that. Whatever it is, you give me. अरे कोई नहीं दे सकता है. Nobody can give you that. If somebody tells you that I'll give you moksha, please stay away from that person. Nobody can give you. You have to work on it. No shortcut. Ramana Maharishi did not say that I will give you moksha later. No, work. Do self-inquiry. Find the source of your thought. Go to the substratum. Maunena majjan manasa swamula charchaiva dasyatma. That is what is called the charcha. That is nija vicharanam. Is it not? Samula charchaiva vicharanam syat. That is the vichara. So, what we saw so far is that the thought that arises in our mind, we can handle in three ways: pass it on, postpone it, act on it. But then don't stop there. Look at the source. What is the source of this thought that arises in my mind? It cannot be outside. If it is outside, I have no control then. Then why all the self-inquiry? We cannot do it, because if the keeps some sources constantly coming, producing thought in my mind, what choice I have? Then moksha, is it ever possible? No. Why? It keeps happening. With I have no control, I will only run away. Sarvam kshanikam kshanikam dukkam dukkam, run. No. Do you want to run and escape from the world? Where do you go? Himalayas. No, that is not world. There also will come. If your mind is vulnerable, wherever you go, it will get disturbed. How much ever you try. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah. Bhagwan Krishna says, if you run away from the world of objects, to some extent you may be relieved. But rasavarjam, he puts a very important point there, except the taste for it. You run away from the world, run away from all the things that are attractive to you. Run away from it. Don't entertain them. Move away. How long? Because the taste for it is still there within you, undried, alive. Potentially you will express. Once Mullah Nasruddin was asked by somebody, I am so interested to stop smoking, what do I do? Mullah Nasruddin said, I have done it many times. I gave up smoking many times. That means what? How can you give up smoking many times? That means every time you gave up, after some time you took it back. Why? The taste is there. Rasavarjam, accept the taste, that will not go. Vasana. Rasavarjam. Rasopyascha param drishtva nivartade. Only when you shift your attention to the awareness, then it will get weakened. Then it will not come back. Because now you know how to handle it. You are not running away. You are not running away from the world or from your mind. So when we take shortcuts like, taking a drug or drinking, etc., not only you become addicted to it, you become weak. And you cannot handle by yourselves. You need some external material or thing to handle your own mind. Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharishi says, and even Bhagavad Gita and Upanishad, everything point out, quietly shift your attention from the thought to awareness. Thought will continue to come as and when they come. Since you have got the ability to shift your attention from that to awareness, even as the vasanas that are inherent in you keep producing the thoughts, you weaken them by not paying attention to them. Pratyak drishtya nivasadi sada vasapaneya prayatnat. That's why Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi says, Hriddesh chinta ritihito hritakya tasya smritihi tasya dridaiva nishta. Drida nishta. Firm abidance. First verse of Saddarshan. So Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi did not necessarily quote from all the scriptures in Upanishad and Gita to a common man. This is your problem, this is the solution. Go back to where you came from. Where you came from? Pure awareness. That pure awareness which you are, go back there. Go to the very source of your own being. The ego is, that mind is, what is known as ego is itself is the mind, which is known as jiva, is a phantom entity. It's an elusive presence. And we do not know the illusoriness of it. We give reality to it. It takes you for a ride. And we have been traveling with this illusory mind for a long time. Therefore, we never questioned it. We never doubted it. We never inquired it. If somebody says, I am very unhappy, you have to ask this question, you are unhappy or you are thinking that you are unhappy? What is true? When you say, I am unhappy, you have to ask this question, are you unhappy? Or you are thinking that you are unhappy? What do you mean by that? You have thoughts of unhappiness or you are unhappy? If you are unhappy, then you would not ask for happiness, right? Why do we ask for happiness? Because our essential nature is happiness, and unhappiness is an unwanted condition, unwanted situation, a temporary condition that has happened. I want to go back to happiness. If I am naturally unhappy, I will not be unhappy about my unhappiness. Very comfortable. What? I am very unhappy. No, you don't. So unhappiness is not your natural state. That's why you want to get rid of it. That only shows a temporary situation or the thought that is making you unhappy is present and you want to get rid of it. And you know that it can be gotten rid of. That's why you're asking that question. If I am by nature unhappiness, I would not be bothered about that. So the nature of awareness is Ananda. And that Ananda disturbed condition is what is known as thoughts, vasanas, desires, demands, unhappiness, and anger, lust, passion, greed, jealousy. All these are waves are happening there. On the top of that ocean, with the ocean, depth of the ocean is serene and quiet. Dive deep into that. Go deep and find out. And as you know, most precious things in the world are not available on the surface. You have to go deep there. In the same way, the depth of your own being is the very source of, very repository of joy. That is called moksha sthiti. It is available to all of us at all times. But we are living in the surface of our mind, in the movements of our thoughts, the waves of our emotions. And go deeper and stay in that state of complete stillness and silence. And upon enjoying that presence there, you can come back to the surface, but you will not be drowned. That's why he said, Pashyan Vishwamapidam Ullasatiyo. Even as he sees the world, even as he is interacting with the world like you and I do, but he remains, as you see, watching you, abiding in that inner stillness, watching the movements of thoughts and emotions and feelings and other things as a joyful play. And as you reach him and then look at his face, he looks deeply into your eyes and makes you go to the depth of yourself. Go deep there. Do not live in the surface. Do not struggle on the surface of your mind. Go deep. Find that stillness. Find that substratum. Find that oneness and quietude. And having reached which, having enjoyed which, you may choose to come back, but will be unaffected by that. As you see the thoughts arise, you know its false nature, it will fall. That's why it's called false. It will keep falling. We'll see more of it in the next session tomorrow. Let's spend some time in silence and meditation until another 20 minutes. You can practice along with me chanting Om and observing silence within. Take a deep breath and slowly exhale in silence. Again, inhale slowly. Om. As the thoughts arise in your mind out of your habitual thinking, let it go. No regrets. As the thoughts arise, shift your attention to the inner silence and stillness. At this point of time, no thought is of any importance. Just leave it. As you start practicing that inner stillness in meditation, you will discover the ability to find that stillness even while you are interacting with people and situations. Capture that inner stillness wherever you go, whatever you do. When you are silently waiting for someone, spending some quiet hours near the altar, waiting even in a traffic signal, or silently watching the beauty of the nature, listening to some music. Practice again and again to go into that inner stillness, thoughtless awareness. You can choose to chant Om in your own mind, followed by silence. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. If you have any questions, we have 10 minutes to ask.
Swamiji, I have a question. So you were talking about the prarabdha, the situation comes, and then how the destiny is created. Then you are also talking about the free will. So in our daily life, how can I connect all this, like, or how to understand all these three things, like the prarabdha, destiny, and then you are talking about the free will. All three.
Right. It depends upon what your priority is. Your free will is always depending on what your priority is. Let's say my priority is peace. I want peace at any cost. So if there is an external situation that is causing some kind of an anger to you, and there is an inherent tendency in you to insist upon something which causes that anger and irritating. Now, you have to choose. If my priority is choice, what should be my free will here? Should I go along with my insistency, which will trigger further unhappiness and irritation, or I choose to let go? That choosing to let go is free will. Not choosing to let go is going to cause, again, one more strengthening of your inner disposition to anger. Right? So always in the case, what example that I gave, where my priority is health, therefore Rasagulla experience can be passed on, and I don't need to. If my priority is not health or only enjoyment, it doesn't matter. I may be healthy, unhealthy. Anyway, I have to die. If you justify that way, then you don't employ that free will. In spite of the warning from the doctor, if your priority is not free will, doctor is not going to stand next to you, don't do this. Similarly, a guru does not stand next to you all the time to tell you what to do. As Bhagwan Krishna said, Yata ichchasi tata kuru. You do, now you understand. You desire what to do, what you do it that way. Why he gave that freedom? Because now I believe in your maturity. So, your priority decides what your prayatna or free will is. Similarly, when you have your children growing up and you tell them you need to study or you need to excel in what you do, once they go into the university, then you give all the freedom to you, saying that, no, you decide. Your daily life, I won't decide. I am here and you are in the university, so how will I be able to tell you what you need to do? Now, you have to develop your free will. And that free will is based upon what you finally want to achieve. So in our daily peace is, we need to keep it as a goal. In today's world, everyday life, what is my priority, top priority is manashanti, peace. If that is the case, occasions of irritation, occasions of mental disturbance, if I have a choice to let go, I will let go.
Continuing from where this question about destiny and free will, and you mentioned about priority. So if peace is priority, then you act in certain way. If enjoyment, so where that seed of priority is differently emerging in different individuals. So even in the case of free will, it is ultimately the destiny that is designing the way your free will is to function.
No. So This is where the confusion is. Is destiny a static thing that is going to happen no matter what? It is true in a sense. The body's destiny is death. Is it not?
Yes.
Body's destiny is death and rebirth. You cannot stop that. Accept it. Don't fight it. How much ever you protect, how much ever medicine you give, finally what is going to do is die. Okay, for the sake of efficiently working in this world, you take a medicine and keep going. But you know finally it is to die. So, as much as 24 hours a day is a destiny, can it stop? No. Day and night it's going to happen. Hunger is a destiny of the stomach. You cannot stop it. You cannot decide not to be hungry. No. No, what you eat in that when you are hungry is your decision, based upon your priority. If you want to be healthy, then you all avoid greasy, fried stuff. So that a limited choice that you have with respect to predestined things, that you need to employ at least. So when it comes to hunger, I can choose to eat unhealthy food or healthy food. That choice I have. 24 hours a day, it is destined. What I do in those 24 hours is my choice. I am subject to death. Jatasya dhruvo mrityuhu. Bhagwan Krishna says, anything that is born is to die. And so, death is certain. What do I do before I die? That is my choice, pretty much. So, in daily life also, I can make certain choices which are within my control and do not blame everything to destiny. If I say, anyway I am going to die, why should I do anything? Then don't die, don't eat even. So, destiny does not decide priority. That's what I am trying to say. So, where do I get the priority from? That's called its knowledge. The Guru gives you clarity about priority. If moksha is your priority, these are the choices you make. If moksha is not your priority, live what? Like animal live. Eat, khao, pivo, maujudao. I call it Picasso. Pina kana sona. Keep doing. Yes.
So, one time Bhagwan says, observe where the sound comes from when you are doing japa, or observe the source of breath. I don't quite understand what it means by observing the source of breath. So is it like inhalation? How do you observe the source of breath?
In Upadeshsara, he makes it clear there are two branches of the same tree, mind and breath. There are two branches of the same tree. So by controlling one, you control the other. Controlling mind is difficult by itself. So control of the breath will control the mind. So he gives us an option. Pranabandhanat liyate manaha jala pakshivat rodha sadhanam. Pranabandhanat, by control of the breath, liyate manaha, mind subsides. Like that of putting a net on the flying bird. The bird cannot fly anymore. So control of breath controls the mind. But it is only temporary. Any of these methods are only temporary. He himself makes Leena manasam ekachintanat nashameti. But chintana should come with the mind quiet. If you merely keep the mind quiet and do not inquire do not do the self-inquiry, the moment you release it will start flying again. Right? So, Shakti Mulaka, when he says that the source is one, meaning there is a one power which expresses on the physical form as breathing and the psychological form as thought. So, since controlling the thought is difficult by itself, he recommends prana vikshanam, observation, not pranayama. prana vikshanam, meaning consciously inhale, consciously exhale. Consciously inhale, consciously exhale. What it means, your mind's attention now is on something which is happening very close to you, by which your mind is not traveling somewhere else. It is similar to japa, where you take the name of the Lord and repeat the name, so the mind is in one place riveted. People who do not believe or do not have the practice of japa, then do the pranavikshan. Both japa and pranavikshanam, both are helpful means to quieten the mind. But having quietened the mind, you have to do the next one. Go to the source. Source of what? Where is this thought coming from? Vrittayastu aham vrittimashritaha vrittayo mano vidhi aham manah. All the thoughts are arising from the ego, I thought. Therefore, I thought is the mind. So then further inquiry into that.